It's the Indian Prime Minister's 75th birthday. Interestingly, the government of India is also cracking down on illegal immigration, particularly that coming from Bangladesh. Would you like to share your thoughts on Prime Minister Modi, and do you see any parallels between India and Britain?
Happy birthday, first of all, to Prime Minister Modi. Populism didn't start with Donald Trump, started with Modi. His election was the start. So I followed the situation closely. I've had lots of meetings in the UK with lots of Indian organisations and groups. I admire Modi for putting Indians first, putting Indian people first. And he was the start of it, even for putting Hindus first, because your country is under attack. And when we talk about his job of stopping uncontrolled mass immigration, again, from Islamic nations who their way through your country. Do you remember Tapan Ghosh? I had meetings with Tapan Ghosh years ago, rest in peace to him. But I had meetings with him back in the day to understand how he was trying to resist of Hindu women. So I follow what's going on. We know what's going on in Kashmir. Everyone does around the world. Whenever you see any violence and conflicts, we know it's not the Hindus. We know automatically straight away. We know who it is. We know about the supremacy and the violence and the hostility. So I wish him success. I wish him success. I wish him honour and bravery, which has continued to show. I'm a supporter of President Modi.
Would you like to meet him at some point?
I'd love to meet him. I'd love to meet him.
I just want to end with your thoughts on terrorism. Do you think that the West is playing its role when it comes to addressing the problem of terrorism, whether it is Israel or India, which has been attacked as recently as April, when the dastardly terror attack happened in Kashmir's Pahalgam? How do you respond to the West's approach, particularly that of United States? We've seen the US president also go ahead and strike deals with Pakistan. So what is your assessment of the West's approach when it comes to dealing with terrorism, in your language, particularly Islamic terrorism?
Well, if they were dealing with Islamic terrorism, we would have already closed down lots of mosques, which we haven't. We never have, so we've been weak in dealing with it. If we were dealing with Islamic terrorism, the 40,000 Muslims on the terror watch list, 50% of them have got dual nationality, they would be deported from our country. They haven't been. If we were dealing with Islamic terrorism, we would have just banned all entry from Pakistan into our country. Pakistan is a terrorist state. Nothing good has ever come from Pakistan. Most of the world's problems are coming from Pakistan. Pakistan has funded terrorism continuously. It tries to smile whilst trying to destroy your country. That's what it does to India. It's what it does to us. It's what it does all over the world. So Pakistan is a terrorist state. No, we've been weak on all these issues, on all of them. We need a government. I actually think we need to free Baluchistan, free the Baluch people from Pakistan's terror.
In a recent live television broadcast, British activist Tommy Robinson returned to familiar ground, accusing Western governments, particularly the United States and the United Kingdom. His remarks, broadcast unfiltered, were as incendiary as ever, targeting not only Western policy, but also Pakistan directly. Robinson argued that if the West were serious about combating terrorism, drastic measures would already have been taken. We would have closed down lots of mosques, which we haven't, he said. He pointed to the 40,000 Muslims reportedly on Britain's terror watch list, claiming that 50% of them have dual nationality and should be deported. In his view, the failure to act reflects a lack of political will. The most provocative portion of his commentary came in his characterization of Pakistan. Pakistan is a terrorist state. Nothing good has ever come from Pakistan, Robinson declared, accusing the country of bankrolling global extremism while smiling diplomatically abroad. He linked Pakistan's role to instability in India, the UK, and the wider world, even calling for the independence of Balochistan, an echo of separatist demands within Pakistan that have long been a sensitive international issue. Critics will note that Robinson's sweeping claims gloss over the complexity of geopolitics. Pakistan has indeed faced international scrutiny for its ties to militant groups and its double role as both a Western security partner and a source of instability remains a point of contention. Yet Robinson's language, dismissing an entire nation as a terrorist state, fits squarely into his pattern of blanket denunciations. What makes Robinson's latest broadcast noteworthy is its timing. The US and UK continue to rely on Pakistan for intelligence cooperation, regional stability, and trade, despite deep mistrust. His remarks tap into a broader frustration among nationalist movements in the West, who argue that governments are too quick to compromise with states they view as threats. For Robinson's supporters, the broadcast reinforced his image as a truth teller unafraid to name enemies. For his detractors, it underscored the dangers of populist rhetoric that fuels division and vilifies entire communities. The broader question, however, remains, will Robinson's uncompromising language shift public debate, or does it serve mainly as red meat for his existing base? Either way, his framing of Pakistan as the centerpiece of global terrorism ensures his message will provoke strong reactions both at home and abroad.
Conclusively revealed there isn't a single legal challenge against France returning or deporting these people to the UK, of course. And the people that are coming here obviously want to come here. But listen, this has become completely farcical now. And you could argue that Labour is just getting a taste of what the Conservatives faced, not just for weeks and months, but for years as they tried to enact the Rwanda policy. And it was constantly met with challenge after challenge that went through from, high immigration courts to high courts to courts of appeal to the Supreme Court and back again before they eventually got to the point where all of the legal channels and sort of appeals, it seemed, had been exhausted, and we were at the point where the first flights could have taken off to Rwanda, but what did Keir Starmer do? On his first day in office, he scrapped Rwanda, didn't even give it a chance, and who knows where we might have been. There's a lot of scepticism about whether it might have worked. Personally, I think it could have worked if the government committed to putting 100% of those crossing over to Rwanda. It would have only taken 2 or 3 weeks. The business model would have collapsed. And, it could well have worked.
Mark, some of us warned at the time that even the Rwanda bill didn't exclude these individual human rights claims, which is exactly how this Eritrean man has been let off this week. And so there was some scepticism, but even though the Rwanda Act was much stronger than anything that had gone before it, it still was possible for an individual to bring claims under the Human Rights Act. And once one person has found out a way, a particular argument, then really the whole deal's off.
And of course, it's not the person, it's this team around him, from your human rights lawyers, your NGOs, your charities, all around the individuals concerned, advocating on their behalf. And they are expert now. They've had years to perfect this, and they know the levers to pull to try to get a decision overturned, to try to disrupt that process. And